You're listening to this week's edition of Playcallers. New episodes dropping every Monday at 2:30 p.m. Central Time. Available to stream across all platforms. Also, be sure to check out this week's edition of the Tiger's Den podcast. New episodes dropping every Monday at 3:30 p.m. Central Time. Available to stream across all platforms. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Playcallers. Actually, the first edition of the year of this podcast. And we got a special guest today, Coach McKinnell, the running backs coach for our Auburn High School team. How are you doing today, Coach McKinnell?
Doing great. Thank you for having me.
That's good to hear. And then I also got my co-host, Taylor, as well. And we'll go ahead and get this show on the road. And, Coach, I also just want to go ahead and start off by saying that it's great to have you on the show. And it's also awesome to see that you are able to – you've been coaching for a while at the high school. And I just want to ask you, how awesome is it to be coach of the high school that not only your youngest son, Tyler McKinnell, who's currently playing punter, as well as I saw him score a touchdown as tight end at 7-on-7s at Auburn University. And then also your eldest son, Rusty, being able to coach him as well. How awesome is that?
Well, it's an interesting dynamic, I'll tell you the truth, because you don't want people to think that they're playing because they're your sons, but they both worked really hard, and it was a great experience for me to get to share that with them. Yeah,
and then for Tyler, I've seen Tyler's been getting I saw he took a visit to I think it was Duke. Yeah, it was Duke on his IG, his Instagram. And then also, when me and you talked earlier this week, he was at Navy for doing stuff for track. And so that's just awesome to have as a coach-son relationship. And then also, you are the running back coach. And for this season, now we have a new quarterback on offense, but I've heard really good things about him. Jackson Kilgore, from what I've heard, he's going to be most likely the starter on Friday. Is that correct?
Well, I'll say that we're still working through the all the work with all three quarterbacks, and
yes, sir.
But right now he is taking the lion's share of the reps with the ones.
Okay. Well, yeah. So with a new quarterback running the offense, I was just wondering how important will the run game be in the offense this year?
Well, to be honest, the run game is always important because we like to establish the run and run some play action stuff off of that. I think we're in a really good place. We lost a great running back in DV who signed to play college ball, and now we've got Flakes who was kind of his understudy last year. He's a senior. He's ready to just take the reins, and he's been looking really good and working hard. And then Omar Mabson, and then we've got Wheat and McHale, and we've got a great running back room.
Yeah, and I've actually, Omar, I got to talk to him the other day, and I also saw something. He was playing at some sort of All-American game or something. I couldn't remember what it's called, but he's really exciting. Coming into this season to me.
He really is, and he's got a great senior in front of him with him being young. He looks the part and all of those things, but the truth is he is a sophomore, and even though he's got the body and the speed and all of those things, we just got to give him an opportunity to get some reps and get some of that experience under his belt.
Yeah, and I heard you threw around a lot of names there just then, and I just wanted to ask: is there anybody that's just popped off during this summer and fall camp off season era? Has there any just names that have jumped out to you going into this season?
Yeah, well, obviously on the offensive side of the ball, which is where I coach. I have been. I think Jackson Kilgore's doing a good job. Our offensive front is looking good and getting better every day. And, of course, Ian Nation, you can't have any discussion about Auburn High offense without mentioning him. But we've got a bunch of other guys that have been in the mix, whether that be Gibson Lothridge, We got Cody. We've got several other kids that may have not gotten as many opportunities last year that are really coming into their own as we move forward. So really excited to see them get their opportunities and get a chance to play.
Yeah, I actually got a chance to see Ian Nation at that 7-on-7 as well. He was going crazy. I saw him catch. I think it was like 2 or 3 touchdowns against one team on that day. But also, I wanted to talk about a little bit about, so in the NFL, we have another podcast called The Tiger's Den. Quick plug for the fans listening right now, but go watch that as well. But we talked about a couple weeks ago when we were doing our demo for the podcast about in the NFL right now, there's been a little bit of controversy with talking about like running backs not getting signed to big deals, Josh Jacobs and Saquon Barkley, for example. I think in the past couple of weeks they've been able to reach some deals, but I just wanted to take a quick side quest and talk about just how important to you as a coach do you think the running back position is for the game of football?
Oh, I think it's paramount, especially in the high school ranks. But as it moves up through, the game has changed, and we've gone to more spread offenses and kind of the fun and gun stuff that a lot of these coaches like to do. But the truth of the matter is when you get into the weather in the middle of December. It's cold. Typically, defense and running the football, those are the teams that are going to win championships. And I feel like those young men, whether they be in the NFL or across the board, they really just have been devalued a little bit. But I truly think that things run in cycles. And I believe the running back will come back in terms of getting their just due. But it seems, at least from what I hear and what I see on ESPN and all the other services that I tend to watch, they feel like unless you're just a superstar running back, and Saquon Barkley comes to mind. He got signed really early. They took another guy in the first round this past year from Alabama. So the truth is if they're super talents, they're going to take them and give them a shot. But in that particular business, there just seems to be, they feel like they can plug and play a lot of different kind of running backs. And so therefore, I think that does devalue them just a little bit.
Yeah, and the way I see it personally is I believe the running back position, like you said, it's paramount to the game. You got to be able to have both sides. You have to be able to pass the ball around, but you also got to be able to keep the defense honest and be able to run the ball up their gut at certain times. But the way I see it is, because you look at the biggest argument a lot of people say is, well, one thing they'll say is never draft a running back in NFL terms, never draft a running back in the first round, which we saw that with Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs both this last year, running back from Alabama, running back from Texas. But I think that a running back is like you said, it's paramount to a team. But we saw with the Chiefs last year, I mean, Isaiah Pacheco, their starter, he was a 7th-round pick from Rutgers. So I feel like, yes, the running back position is very important. And I believe just the running back position, like a great player like Pacheco, because Pacheco did really play really well, it can come from anywhere,
Absolutely. And, all of those guys are talented. I mean, about 5% of high school players make it to college. And then about 1% of those college players make it to the NFL. And any one of those people have an opportunity to be successful. It just depends on who drafts you. It depends on what their running back room looks like, if there's a need for those running backs. And then obviously you've got to stay healthy. But once you get to that level, all of those guys were very, very talented.
Oh, 100%. And speaking of making it to the next level, I've heard a lot about a lot of our players. We've got a lot of talent on this team, as well as we got a lot of just players just getting a lot of not only offers to like play in the college ball, but also playing in D1 college ball. I think I saw it. Speaking of Omar again, I saw on his Instagram he posted he got an offer, his first offer from UAB, and so I mean, I wanted to talk about how important do you think is it as just like as a high school organization and a football team, just being able to see, all of your student athletes being able to make it to the next level and play at the collegiate level.
It's an incredible feeling. You always encourage your kids if they're interested. Some of them want to play high school ball, and that's it. And then some of them want to further their careers and get an opportunity. And when you can sign a young man, regardless of school, it doesn't have to be the SEC. Now, obviously, a lot of our kids in this part of the country would love to play in the SEC, but if you can get a young man on and give them an opportunity to play at the next level and get a free education on top of that, there's just nothing better. And it's so exciting to watch them play. And just the other day I had an opportunity to go to Auburn scrimmage at the university, and at one point I look out there on the field and there are 5 or 6 Auburn High young men that are on that field playing football. And it's just a great representation of the job that Coach Etheridge and some of the coaches before them have done over the years. And it's just incredible to see our young men represent the A over there at Auburn University.
Yeah, and speaking about Coach Etheridge, and he's done just a phenomenal job ever since coming in after Coach Weingarten moved on to Tuscaloosa County. I just want you to speak on how great this coaching staff is, because you talked about it to me like earlier in the week, talking about how great this coaching staff is, but just how awesome is our coaching staff?
Well, I personally am honored to be able to take the field with those guys. They are smart. They're competitive. They want to give our team the best opportunity to win, and most coaches do. But these coaches put in the work. And, we'll get cranking tomorrow afternoon. We've been working for weeks now, just getting ready to get to game week. And as we continue to move forward, we'll get together and hopefully put in a game plan. But I can't say enough about the staff. Coach Oliver and I have been coaching running backs together for quite some time, and love him as a brother. And I feel the same way about the remainders of the staff. But as far as our offensive and defensive coordinators go, you've got Coach Wagnon, who, again, is an ultra competitor. He fights for our kids at every turn. And then, of course, Coach Goolsby is our defensive coordinator. And I believe in that defensive staff. Those guys will put a product out there, and they will get everything that they can get, both offensively and defensively, out of the kids that we have, and give them the best opportunity to be successful.
Yeah, and us at HiDef and HS Mass Media, we are currently putting together a documentary series similar to Hard Knocks of the NFL, trying to do that for the team. And I've been able to, follow. That's allowed me to follow the team more closely and see some of y'all's practices. And I'll just tell you one thing: I've noticed y'all work hard every single day, every time y'all are out there. And I know that whenever we come out to play either Hoover, whether it's Hoover or Enterprise as our home opener, or any other team, Central, Opelika, whoever it is, we will play as hard as we can and as tough as we can. And it's really just all thanks to y'all, as well as the student athletes that we have on the team. And I also want to welcome in our co-host / analyst, Taylor. I just want to make sure you're still here. I know you haven't been able to say much. Just see if you have any questions for Coach McKinnell, Taylor.
Yeah, I've been on the edge of my seat these past few minutes. So Coach McKinnell, I've known him for a long time. Every time I see him, he just smiles at me, welcomes me with open arms. And I just know that the role model he's setting for these kids that are on the football team is just immensely. They're grateful for it. And I wanted to ask, how would you describe your style of coaching? Because off the field, you're a big teddy bear. You're super nice. Does that translate to the field and the way that you treat your players as well?
Well, I think it does. I think I have a good relationship with not only the guys in our running back room, but the guys on offense and defense. I mean, because, to me, the preparation comes during all the summer days and the getting ready during game week. And then when you get to the moment of truth, when it is game time. Hopefully, you've done all the things that you can do to have your players prepared, and then you can just let them go out there and have fun. Because we try to design our practices so that they're hard, so that when you do get to game time, you're just going to cut it loose and just have a good time. Now, we all recognize as coaching staff that our students are going to make a mistake, and I always say, if you do not ever make a mistake, you're probably not trying very hard. So just go out there, play your best, do what you can do, and that's all I can ask from you. And so I enjoy the camaraderie that I have with those young men, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful experience to watch them grow and get to watch them play and represent our school in a class way.
Yeah, I mean, like Max was saying earlier about the docuseries, we see y'all having fun at practices. We see instances of coach and player moments on and off the field. I saw on Auburn City Education Instagram so DeMarcus Ware being inducted to the Hall of Fame, I saw that you got to go to that moment where he was inducted and see his headstone and everything.
Yeah.
Did you personally know DeMarcus Ware? Did you coach him?
Yes, I was here when DeMarcus was here and had the opportunity to befriend him at that time. And we had a relationship that went well into, obviously his high school career, then his college career at Troy. And I actually was fortunate in that DeMarcus or my wife and I both took DeMarcus on his recruiting visit to Troy, which was kind of interesting. But we were there with him when he decided to pull the trigger and go to Troy, and just maintain that relationship. And then a few weeks back, probably 6 or 8 weeks back, he reached out and just said that he wanted to invite me as one of his guests to that experience. And I can't tell you how humbling it was to get that call. And I'm just honored to get to know him, because he not only is a Hall of Famer from the standpoint of his athletic prowess, but he's a Hall of Fame person. He's a good person. He does things the right way. And he's the type of example that all of our students at Auburn High School can look up to.
That's awesome. Yeah. That goes back to like the personal bond that you make with the kids, how you're their mentor and they look up to you because they want to make that professional level, and that's just awesome that you get to share that special bond with him and see that special moment with him.
Well, it was really cool whenever when he adopted his first child. She was still an infant, and he came by, and lo and behold, I'm sitting on the couch holding his daughter. And so it was an outstanding experience for both Brandy and I, just to be in contact with him on a regular basis. And I'm so proud of his accomplishments and who he has become as a mentor to young people and a leader in the NFL world, not to mention a leader in our community.
Yeah, that's so special. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and Coach McKinnell, I mean, it's been awesome to have you on here. And just to close out our show, I want to ask you, what can fans expect from this Auburn team this year, in your own words? Well,
I would say that they can expect our kids to take the field and be ready to play football. Now, will we be perfect? No. There's not a team out there that's perfect. But I will tell you that when they take the field, we're going to put a product on the field that'll make our community proud. And we ask that all of our students, all of our community to come out to the Met in Hoover. It'll be a big one. Number 2 and number 3 team in the state locking horns on the first game of the season. So it's going to be a great environment against a great opponent. And so we're just excited. And I think our kids are just ready to hit somebody else and quit going against each other,
Yeah, very awesome. Very well said. I'll for sure be there. I'm very excited. And once again, thank you for coming on to the show. And we hope y'all have enjoyed this episode of Playcallers. And Coach McKinnell, is there anything else you'd like to say before we go our separate ways?
Yeah, I'd like to say to both of you two, I've known you guys a long time, and I'm proud of the work that you guys are doing, and it's really special when our students get an opportunity to be highlighted in programs like this one, and I just appreciate what you guys are doing, and y'all keep up the good work.
Oh,
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Coach. You too. You keep up the good work. I'm excited to see our team this year, and I hope you have a great day.
All right. God bless.
All right. God bless.
Thanks for listening to this week's edition of Playcallers. Be sure to check out our episodes airing every single Monday at 2:30 p.m. Central. Also be sure to check out our other podcast, The Tiger's Den, where we deep dive into the world of sports. Be sure to check out those episodes Mondays at 3:30 p.m. Central on all platforms.